Hare Krishna, thank you for joining this morning. Srimad Bhagavatam, Sangha, and some chanting after this. So we'll continue with Maharaj Citraketu's problem. His son has been poisoned by the co-wives because they were envious that he was spending too much time with with the mother of the child and the child himself, and that he was ignoring them. So through envy, they poisoned the child. And after finding out, Maharaj and the queen, they're very, very upset. And they are like near death themselves through this. And so Sage Aṅgirā and Nārada Muni, they have arrived back to help the king with instructions. And they have been telling him that, look, this is, what you are so attached to. These are temporary things. You didn't know this child before, and you won't know this child in your next life. This is just one chapter, one episode in your life. So don't make it like this is everything. It's not everything. It's just, we're just travelers traveling through time and different bodies, different births. So you weren't meant to have a child. You had a child and now it's gone because you were never meant to have a son. So you had a son just for a while, just give you some happiness, but now he's causing you distress. So let's continue. So Shri Shukdev Goswami continued, thus enlightened by the instructions of Nārada and Aṅgirā, King Citraketu became hopeful with knowledge. Wiping his shriveled face with his hand, the king began to speak. King Citraketu said, you have both come here dressed like avadutas, like liberated souls, just to cover your identities. But I see that of all men, you are the most elevated in awareness. You know everything as it is. Like Srila Prabhupada says, as it is. Therefore, you are the greatest of all great personalities. So even though the king was in a really bad state, he was very knowledgeable. But, even a doctor, he might have a lot of knowledge, but when he's not well, can't think, right? You can't think for yourself. You need somebody else to remind you things. So it's same with King Citraketu. Although King Citraketu knew everything, but he needed somebody to guide him, to remind him that what you're doing is not the way to do things. Brahmanas, who are exalted to the position of Vaishnavas, the most dear servants of Krishna, sometimes dress like madmen, just to benefit materialists like us, who are always attached to sense gratification. And just to dissipate our ignorance, these Vaishnavas wander on the surface of the globe according to their desire. So they go wherever their desire takes. Let's pray. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langyate girim yat kirpatam hamandesham guru taranam paraman andamadaram shitataneshwaram hariyam tassat. Narayanam namaskritya naram cheva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jem uduriyat. Nashta preshav abdureshu nityam bhagavad sevya. Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Neshtiki. Hare Krishna. And it's continued, O great souls, I have heard that among the great and perfect persons wandering the surface of the earth to instruct knowledge to people covered by ignorance, and it just names a lot of people that he knows. Maharaj knows Sanat Kumar, Nārada, Vibhu, Aṅgirā. Well, they are already there, right? Nārada and Aṅgirā. Devla, Asita, like the Shukdev, Durvasa, Jatukarna. So he knows all these people. So who is like they had, you must certainly be among them. So they're in disguise, looks like. Great personalities like those listed in these verses wander on the surface of the globe, not to mislead the populace, but to distribute real knowledge. Without this knowledge, human life is wasted. The human form of life is meant for realization of one's relationship with Krishna, or God. One who lacks this knowledge is categorized among animals. So that's the only difference between us and the animals, that we can realize God and they can't. Otherwise, we're all doing the same thing, living in a very similar way. All living entities, even birds, they have affection for each other. They share things. They live together, enjoy things together. They're doing everything we're doing. Just that we have that slight difference. And if we don't use that slight difference, then what's the point? Might as well be any other animal. Could have been anything, insect even. Wouldn't have made any difference because we didn't take advantage of the extra quality that we had. We didn't use it. So, we have this, and if we waste it, then we just know better than having an animal birth. Because you are great personalities, you can give me real knowledge. I am as foolish as a village animal, like a pig or dog, because I am immersed in the darkness of ignorance. Therefore, please ignite the torch of knowledge to save me. So he's asking for help now. He's submissively asking for help. This is the way to receive knowledge. Be submissive. Say, I don't know anything. Not that, oh, no, 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 no. Start arguing, no, 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 no. It's not like this. No, no. I've heard this. I've heard that. No, you just submissively listen. One must submit oneself at the lotus feet of great personalities who can actually deliver transcendental knowledge. It is therefore said, Tasmad Guru Prapadaite Jekyasu Shreya Uttamam. One who is inquisitive to understand the highest goal and benefit of life must approach a bona fide spiritual master and surrender unto him. Only one who is actually eager to receive knowledge to eradicate the darkness of ignorance is eligible to approach a guru. So only one who is actually eager. So you must be enthusiastic to learn as well. Otherwise, you will not understand the knowledge, or at least you will not use it. The guru should not be approached for material benefits. One should not approach a guru just to cure some disease or receive some miraculous benefit. This is not the way to approach the guru. So there should not be a material agenda there. Otherwise, then again, you're like just an animal. That's not the extra thing that we're looking for. Tad Vigyantam, one should approach the guru to understand the transcendental science of spiritual life. Unfortunately, in this age of Kali, there are many bogus gurus who display magic to their disciples, and many foolish disciples want to see such magic for material benefits. So when you see magic, when you show you magic, you think, oh, this person, he can do anything. Maybe he can give me this, he can give me this. We start thinking for our own benefit that he can produce things for me. So these disciples are not interested in pursuing spiritual life to save themselves from the darkness of ignorance. It is said, Om Gyan Timirasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Nama. I was born in the darkest ignorance and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. This is what the spiritual master is for. Help us in the darkened world, giving us the light of a torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisance unto him. This gives the definition of the guru. That is what a guru is for. Don't misuse the guru. Everyone is in the darkness of ignorance. Therefore, everyone needs to be enlightened with transcendental knowledge. One who enlightens his disciples and saves him from rotting in the darkness of ignorance in this material world is a true guru. So if a guru is not giving you this, so this is us, what we got to do. And same with the guru. If guru is not giving you that knowledge that takes you closer to Krishna, gives you spirituality, then that guru is to be rejected. It's not a proper guru. It's not a bona fide guru. Aṅgirā said, my dear king, when you desire to have a son, I approach you. Indeed, I am the same Aṅgirā Rishi who gave you this son. As for this Rishi, he is a great sage, Nārada. So they were in disguise. Now they've revealed their true forms. He is a direct son of Lord Brahma. My dear king, you are an advanced devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. To be absorbed in lamentation for the loss of something material is unsuitable for a person like you. So even they know that he's a very advanced devotee. So why is he so bewildered? Because he's under shock at the moment. But they know he's very advanced. Therefore, we have both come to relieve you from this false lamentation, which is due to your being merged in the darkness of ignorance. So this is the thing, we might be very knowledgeable, but we can fall into the darkness. We can get into illusion because we have 4 defects, and it starts with imperfect senses, which can cause illusion. And then we make mistakes. Then we try to cheat. So these 4 defects are within us. So we should never think that, oh, I've learned everything, I know everything, Maya can't touch me. Maya can touch us anytime, because we have imperfect senses, we misunderstand things. So this verse describes the entanglement of material existence. In material existence, the living entity possesses many things: the material body, children, wife, and so on. One may think that these will give him protection, but this is impossible. In spite of all these possessions, the spirit soul has to give up his present situation and accept another. The next situation may be unfavorable, but even if it is favorable, one must give it up again, accept another body. In this way, one's tribulation in material existence continues. A sane man should be perfectly aware that these things will never be able to give me happiness. One must be situated in a spiritual entity and eternally serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a devotee. Aṅgirā Rishi and Nārada Muni gave this instruction to Maharaj Citraketu. So this is the only constant. Rest of things are variables. You think in a mathematical way, the body is variable, our relatives are variable, our life is variable. All these things change. What is constant is that we are the same soul. In every time we have a new body, we're the same soul. And what is constant is God. The God is always the same. And what is constant is our relationship with God. That is always the same. We are his servitors. So the idea here is to focus on the constant, but that which always remains. This soul remains, God remains, relationship remains. That is the only important thing. All these things, they vary from time to time, even in the same life, we make different friends, we have different situations, our wealth changes, our circumstances change. Everything's vary, it's all there to change. This is what this world's all about. When I first came to your home, I could have given you the supreme transcendental knowledge. But when I saw that your mind was absorbed in material things, I gave you only a son who caused you jubilation and lamentation. So Aṅgirā Rishi is telling that when I came to see you first, I could see that the most valuable, most important thing to you at that time was not your wealth, was not your kingdom, was not your wives, was not spiritual knowledge. You weren't interested, you just wanted a son. So I gave you that son, helped you get that son. My dear king, now you are actually experiencing the misery of a person who has sons and daughters. O king, honor the state of Shura Sen. One's wife, his house, the opulence of his kingdom, and his various other opulences and objects of sense perception are all the same in that they are temporary, they're variables, they're always changing. One's kingdom, military power, treasury, servants, ministers, friends, and relatives are all causes of fear, illusion, lamentation, and distress. And because they're always changing, they always cause us misery. We lose friends, we lose relatives. Yehi spasha boga, dukha yinoya evate. Whatever we are attached to, they are the cause of our misery as well. It's natural, that's how it works. They are like a Gandharva Nagar, a non-existent palace that one imagines to exist in the forest because they are impermanent. They are no better than illusions, dreams, and mental concoctions. So illusion or a dream might last, for a few minutes, whereas these illusion of material life or any material life can last, say, 80 to 100 years, and then we start a new illusion and dream. My dear king, now you're actually experiencing the misery of a person who has sons and daughters. Okay, I think we've done that one. Let's go on to the next one. These visible objects like wife, children, and property are like dreams and mental concoctions. Actually, what we see has no permanent existence. It is sometimes seen and sometimes not. Only because of our past actions do we create such mental concoctions. And because of these concoctions, we perform further activities. So Srila Prabhupada explains that we have come to this material world to enjoy material resources. And by mental concoction, we discover many, many objects of enjoyment because our minds are absorbed in material things. This is why we receive various bodies, so we can enjoy the material. To enjoy material things, we must have a material body, right? Because if you have a spiritual body, then you would not be interested in material things. So according to our mental concoctions, we work in various ways, desiring various achievements. And by nature and the order of the Supreme Personality Godhead, we get the advantages we desire. So God fulfills all desires. Thus, we become more and more involved in material concoctions. This is the reason for our suffering in the material world. By one kind of activity, we create another, and they are all products of our mental concoctions. So we just get more and more entangled in material life. We want children, we want a wife, we want children, we want grandchildren, we want a big house, a lot of wealth, a lot of friends, we want respect, adoration, love, and glorification. So many things we want. We're animals, we are complex animals. The living entity in the body conceptual life is absorbed in the body, which is a combination of the physical elements, the five senses for gathering knowledge, and the five senses of action along with the mind. Through the mind, living entity suffers three kinds of tribulations, Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik, and Adi Atmik. Therefore, this body is a source of all miseries. So, the scriptures are telling us that you're going to suffer these things, whether you like it or not. And these three things, they come uninvited. Now, who is inviting this cold weather? Who's inviting that there might be possibility of snow around 11th of October? They just come uninvited, right? Problem for people, they come uninvited. Problem of the body, you might wake up one day, you have pain in the leg or the arm or something, right? Problems come uninvited. So there's an example given here that while instructing his sons, Rishabhadev said the body, all the temporary, is the cause of all the miseries of material existence. As already discussed in the previous verse, the entire material creation is based on mental concoction. The mind sometimes induces us to think that if we purchase an automobile, we can enjoy the physical elements, such as earth, water, air, and fire combined in the form of iron, plastic, petrol, so on, working with the five material elements, Panchabhutas. as well as with our 5 knowledge gathering senses like the eyes, ears, tongue, and the 5 active senses like the hands, legs, we become involved in the material condition. So we think, oh, this car is going to make me happy. It's made of material items, and we enjoy it with the material senses. That's the thing. Just it's a material concoction that, oh, this is going to make me happy, um, and we use the material um, assets to try and enjoy that, but it's so temporary, right? You buy a brand new car, you'll enjoy it maybe for a few weeks, and then in fact, you don't bother washing it, or it just becomes a normal thing again. Thus, we are subjected to these tribulations. The mind is the center because the mind creates all things. As soon as the material object is struck, however, the mind is affected and we suffer. For example, the material elements, the working senses and the knowledge gathering senses, we create a very nice car. And when the car is accidentally smashed in a collision, the mind suffers. And through the mind, the living entity suffers. So whatever we attach to, when we lose it, we suffer a lot. The fact is that the living entity, while concocting with the mind, creates a material condition. So mind is a dangerous thing. It can just expand on so many things and expand on our attachments, expand on our problems. Just like it just does its own thing, really. We don't have much control. Oh, if we let it, we have some control. If we let it, it can just expand, exaggerate things in your mind, scare the hell out of you. Because because matter is destructible. Through the material condition, the living entity suffers. Otherwise, living entity detached from all material conditions. So therefore, O King Citraketu, carefully consider the position of the Atma. In other words, try to understand who you are. What is a constant in you? Whether body, mind, or soul. Which one are you? Are you the body? Are you the mind? Or are you the soul? Consider where you have come from, where you are going after giving up this body, and why you are under the control of material limitations. Try to understand your real position in this way, and then you'll be able to give up your unnecessary attachment. Because we just focus on that particular event and we focus on the pain that we have given us. We forget to look at the bigger picture. Now, what is actually the bigger picture? And it's not the bigger picture is not just this birth and this relationship and this incident. The bigger picture is much wider than that. You'll also be able to give up the belief that this material world or anything not directly in touch with the service to Krishna is eternal. Thus, you will obtain peace. So things happen in our lives, situations happen, we lose loved ones. It's painful. Even Krishna was pained, Ram was pained, Arjun was pained, Pandavas were pained. When things happened in their life, they all showed emotion, they cried, they showed grief. But that is natural. We have emotions. We are given a material body. We look at that incident at the time, but then the point of reading the Shastra is then look at the bigger picture and then snap out of it. You have to come out of it. You cannot remain in that tight situation. You cannot, because that's what it's all about. Okay, go through the grief, go through the emotions, and then leave. Come out. Now, because life has to, like English say, the show must go on. The show must go on. This life must go on. This happened. We've shown our grief. We've exercised our emotions. We've gone through the process. Now come out and carry on. Because there's more to be dealt, more happiness, more sorrow. You'll be there. That's part of life. The Krishna's consciousness movement is actually endeavoring to bring human society to a sober condition. Because of a misdirected civilization, people are jumping in a materialistic life like cats and dogs, performing all sorts of abominable, sinful actions and becoming increasingly entangled. The Krishna consciousness movement includes self-realization because one is first directed by Lord Krishna to understand that one is not the body, but the owner of the body. When one understands this simple fact, he can direct himself toward the goal of life. Because people are not educated in terms of the goal of life. They are working like madmen and becoming more and more attached to the material atmosphere. The misguided man accepts the material condition as everlasting. One must give up his faith in material things and give up attachment for them. Then one will be sober and peaceful. The great sage Nārada continued, "My dear king, attentively receive from me a mantra which is most auspicious. After accepting it from me, in 7 nights you will be able to see the Lord face to face. My dear king, in former days, Lord Shiva and other demigods took shelter of the lotus feet of Sankarshan. Thus they immediately got free from the illusion of duality and achieved unequaled and unsurpassed glories in spiritual life. You will very soon attain that very same position." So they were aware of the situation and even the future of King Citraketu. And so these things, they were there to help him and also to help us, so we can learn from this that what is the actual, what is the real system, and how we forget that and we become entangled and waste our lives. So thank you so much. Our group is low today, but so we have Praveen Mataji and Sarvashi Mataji. Thank you for joining. Sarvashi Mataji, I hope you're well. Missed you last couple of weeks. And let's love to hear from you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I was a bit busy I couldn't attend this, sorry.
No problem.
And very good advice from Nārada and Aṅgirā Rishi. And that's what our Bhagavatam is about, giving us a lot of knowledge because we are very ignorant in this world. And Nārada and Aṅgirā were very exalted spiritual masters. I mean, their advice about mind, body, family, they said the body and the family, they tell the Citraketu that they are temporary, they give you happiness for a very temporary happiness, short happiness. And after that advice was very effective, and the Citraketu, he got over his lamentation. Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita that mind is one's friend and mind is one's enemy. Whichever you have to control your mind in Krishna consciousness, then it's friend. If you're in material things, then it's your enemy. And it is very important to control one's mind. Citraketu couldn't control his mind because of his desire for the son. That's why he had to go into so much lamentation. And we can, they gave the instruction how to discipline your mind. I mean, you can discipline your mind through austerity or chanting the holy name of the mind. That you have to discipline your mind. That then it can come under the control. And the desire for material body gives us temporary happiness. It never permanent. Anything you do for material does it never lasts. I mean, when you build a house, it gets old. If you have any clothes, it gets old. Everything, and then it finishes. It's always temporary. Nothing is permanent. But desire for spiritual body is permanent and it give you happiness because we won't take birth. It won't be relieve you from birth and death. So we should choose our spiritual life rather than our material life. And I know it's very nice, but it's very, very temporary. And the spiritual masters or the senior devotees can give us a real knowledge and guide you to material and spiritual life. And that's why you must practice what you preach. So all these spiritual masters, they did practice what they were preaching. But nowadays, sometimes people And nowadays they preach you, but they don't practice themselves. So Prabhupada always say you should be, you practice first, then you preach. So we should follow our advice of our spiritual master and follow the scriptures, and then we can live in happiness and peaceful life. Otherwise, this material world is full of trouble. Always worrying about something. Always, my mind is never peaceful. So you have only the thing you can be peaceful if you concentrate on Krishna and have association with the devotees, learn about more. They can guide you through the spiritual life, and then we can be happy. Otherwise, this is miserable world full of miseries, birth, death, old age, and disease everywhere. You can't get over it. Some people say, when people die, they say, "Oh, he's very nice. He's gone. He's finished, and he'll find peace." You never find peace because you're gonna be born again, and you don't know that one life might be worse than this what we have. Some people have comfortable life, but you can't guarantee your next life what kind of life. The only guarantee is about learning through the spiritual masters and learning through the scriptures and obeying the orders of the Bhagavad-Gita. Bhagavad-Gita is none different from Lord Krishna. So it gives you knowledge. So Krishna sent us in this world, and then he sent us an instruction how to live in this world through the Bhagavad-Gita, and in Bhagavatam, the devotees tell you how to live in this world. So we should follow that. We try to follow. We are trying to follow, but sometimes after we won't go on the road, you bump on a stone or something. It's never perfect for us, but we just used to try. That's the main thing. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So, yes, thank you. Wonderful. Yes, absolutely right. So we should never say that we know everything, because the mind is there to fool us, right? We can learn everything. We can learn all the shastras, have all the knowledge, and but the mind is always there to put us into illusion. So yeah, very important to have a guru who can at least interpret the shastras properly, so we don't misunderstand them. And we need association. Make sure the mind is not dragging us in the wrong direction. Thank you so much, Mataji. Read Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. That was now.
Sorry, Mataji, I think I've muted the wrong one. Mataji, if you can.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranam, yes. Yes, very nicely explained by Mataji as well. So I think for me, it is the shloka Brahmbhuta Prasannatma Nashochati Nakangshati. So we know what is our aim. So rather than having material attachments, which are the cause of misery, we need to focus on our mind at the lotus feet of the Lord and engage ourselves in the devotional service. Because having material desires only entangles us, and we have to accept the will of the Lord rather than wishing, I wish I have this, I wish I have that. So whatever is best for us, Krishna has already provided us with that. So then the importance of spiritual master as well. How spiritual master saves us from rotting in this darkness. Because I always feel like if we didn't have Srila Prabhupada, if I didn't come across to Krishna consciousness, I can't imagine what I would have been doing now. So you feel so fortunate, Prabhupada has saved us from the miseries. So yeah, it's very important, and like having the association of the devotees, it is just saving us and encouraging us to, take advantage of this extra quality given by the Supreme. Otherwise, we will be just like cats and dogs, and that's what we are seeing in the world, what's happening.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Scary, isn't it? Scary thought.
Very, very scary, Prabhuji, because even when I think, God, if I was not in Krishna, because like my husband's whole family was eating meat and everything, you know, and then you think, oh my God, you know, because you do come under pressure and like association, it does affect. So, but no, we saved ourselves for so many years, but then luckily came into Krishna consciousness. So no, very, very fortunate, you know. So all glows to Srila Prabhupada, yes, and how important it is to have good gurus. Because yesterday only we were speaking and like talking about, well, I shouldn't name the guru, and one of the gurus, not in ISKCON, but then they say, oh, I've never read Bhagavad-Gita, but they call themselves guru. So what are they going to teach? So all the teachings are in, you know, whichever shlok you take. Like today I'm thinking, yes, I'm just going to, you know, just remember this shlok all day. So we can just meditate on a shloka every day, and that keeps us going. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes. And with regards to desires, I mean, desires, right? We can't stop desires. Desires will always be there. We cannot be desireless. That's something we're established, that we cannot be desireless. We all have desires. Just the main idea is to change those material desires into spiritual desires. So, you know, we want a house, we want a car, we want a family. Just think of everything as belonging to Krishna. It's just simple as that. Just think family belongs to Krishna, the car belongs to Krishna, the house belongs to Krishna. When we start thinking like that, then we're not attached to it because it's not ours, right? Only Krishna is ours. We should be attached to him. Everything else is not ours, it's Krishna's. We are just using it. If we have it, it's fine. If we don't have it, that's fine. It's like that. So like Maharaj Citraketu had a son. If he is thinking that this is Krishna's property, then he won't be lamenting so much. You know, he says, okay, Krishna wanted him back, that's fine. But he thought it was mine, my son, he was everything, you know, why did this happen to me? You know, then we go into illusion and bewilderment like that. So it's okay to have desires. Just find a way to make sure that we say that they're the Lord's for us to use. Even husband and wives, they belong to Krishna, right? They're his property, they're his children. He has given them to us according to our karma. He has given to us to use and you know, to have a relationship with. Thank you. Other anyone say something?
I just wanted to add, Prabhuji, life becomes so much easy when we think like that, when we have this mindset.
Absolutely.
Then everything feels very easy, then you don't complain about anything.
Seriously, that is so true. You know, it's Prabhupada has given us this concept. We would have never known.
No.
He has given this formula. He has given us this formula that we can use. And without the formula, you know, we would still be like, say, kids and dogs. Very, very important to have this formula. And not only have these formulas, we need to keep reminding ourselves as well, because we easily forget, because the mind takes over. We forget those formulas. We have to keep reminding ourselves all the time. This is the reason for having, you know, classes, association like that. It's very important.
Hare Krishna. Yes, of course. I think we should put on our fridges big, instead of buying some, you know, rubbish sayings and putting in the fridges, the magnets. Just put this saying that life is illusion. What brings joy will bring us pain. I think that is what we should put on the fridge, because we open the fridge so many times in a day when we are in the kitchen. So I think this is a very good idea. So I'm going to do it this today, because, you know, from time to time, even after learning so much and hearing so much, our mind will get trapped into some silly mindset.
It does.
From time to time, because of the circumstances, because of the situations, because of other people who are going to, you know, just cross our paths in a wrong way sometimes, or, you know, whatever reason. So yes, and I was thinking too in the class that like we have to eat every few hours in a day. We have to drink water. Similarly, we have to, you know, dip our minds into the shastras from from time to time, because we are not Nāradji, or we are not Brahmaji, that we can hold all the knowledge in our head.
Yeah, Brahmaji got illusion.
Yes, if he got illusion, then what to say about us? a person might say, oh, I've understood everything. And when the tough time comes on them, when the situations will be pressing them, they say when you squeeze a lime, then you realize what comes out of it. So if you are very learned, if you have understood a lot of shastras, a lot of teachings you've imbibed, you think, but when comes the tough time, then your test is there. Then you can nobody has to say to you, you can realize for yourself that how much you have learned and how much far you are from the, these threefold miseries of this world. So yeah, so if people like Citraketu, who had Aṅgirā Rishi as their spiritual master, who were coming to them, to their house, to their palace to teach them, they suffered situations like that, then I think that we as a jivas of this Kali Yuga, we are not at all exalted or anything. I think Kali Yuga people have just got the advantage that we've got the easy way to get out of this Kali Yuga. But otherwise, in all the respects, we are the most rubbish of all the jivas ever who appear in the cosmos. Satyug ones are better than us, Dwapar, Treta. We have got the least of everything. And I think the Kali Yuga jivas have got the biggest ego. That's the biggest problem. Because just like they say, the more vulnerable person is, the more they are full of themselves, like they say in the material life. So yeah, lots of teachings again from today's class. And yes, this is illusion. I'm going to put it on the fridge definitely today. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll do a couple of rounds. Thank you so much for your narrations.